So when it comes to this idea of they ask, you answer and obsessing over your customers' questions, what's interesting is most companies don't actually do this. Instead, they embrace what we call ostrich marketing. And when you hear that, you're like, ostrich? Yeah, because when an ostrich has a problem, what does it do? That's right, it buries its head in the sand, which actually doesn't, that's not real. It's a myth. But we use that because it's a good example, right? And so how can we as businesses sometimes be like the ostrich? Well, we tend to ignore some of the most fundamental questions we get asked every single day. So think about all the questions you've been asked by customers over the years, potential customers. How many of those are addressed right now on your website? Yeah? Now think about the questions you get from potential recruits. Lots of them, right? How many of those right now are addressed on your website? My sense is, if you're being really honest with yourself, probably not very many, right? That's okay. Everybody else in the industry is the same way. But that's why you're watching this right now, is because you don't want to be like everybody else in the industry. But here's the flaw, of course, with the ostrich and burying our heads in the sand and ignoring those questions. We cannot be the most trusted voice in our space if we want to ignore our customers' questions. But if you want to become that voice of trust, which is very possible, and you're willing to lean into those questions, worries, fears, issues, again, that's the essence of they ask, you answer, you can become that voice of trust. So we cannot ignore. So now we're going to talk about how do we become the antithesis of the ostrich.